Hey guys, welcome to the channel. We're going to start on part 2 on detailing our NASCAR body, which is pretty much the painting and, decaling. So on the second part, we're going to talk about wet sanding, which I made a mistake on the last video by saying the wrong grit number, and I apologize. So I put that in the description of the first video. I was thinking a resin body. Usually that's why I use 600 with resin body, but and sometimes I don't. But anyways, it's just I don't want to mislead people because it does kind of score the body a little and take a little bit to recover from it. So 3000 grit is what I'm going to explain on the next video here. So let's get into it and talk about sanding down and painting. So here we go. Okay, here we are. We have the model all painted, and this is cured for 24 hours. What I'm going to use is 3000 grit. And I wanted to correct myself. I had said 600 grit. That was a mistake. I didn't mean to say 600 grit. If you do use 600 grit, it's going to put too many lines in there, and then it won't look as good. So you just want to make this, because this primer here really lays nicely, and it looks pretty smooth. So I'm going to do a real light sanding of it. I don't want to go crazy because there's no need to. And then I'm going to cut these foam sanding pads, which are very good to use. I like them. They're my preference, but you could use whatever sandpaper you have available. And I'm turning on the water a little. I'm going to wet the model, remove it from the stand. And I will wet the model. And let me position my camera here. I think I have a position good. Let me move the model here. So now I'm going to do is just lightly sand it. I'm not going to go real heavy handed. There's no need to. Just a light sanding. I'm just doing the light pressure. I'm not like going in and digging hard. You don't want to do that. Just give it a light sanding because you want a smooth surface for the paint to lie onto, because this all looks really smooth. You know, it's all the lines are contoured nicely, so there's no need to go like hog wild and just like start sanding the living crap out of it. We're just going to go lightly over everything. The hood, the roof. Don't go too hard here because these are hard to paint. Once you start scouring paint off that, those are kind of difficult to paint over. As I found out with the Shoe World car, it was a little bit difficult. And again, just a real smooth, non-heavy handed scouring, you know, just like that. Because this, I do like this primer. It does lie on nicely. And just like that, you go on the wing, just over like that. And just a nice light sanding. It looks really smooth. You know, it doesn't feel rough. And again, that's all we're going to do. And then what I'll do is I'll place this on the dehydrator and leave it there so you can let this dry up. Now again, on hard plastic models, excuse me, it's easier to put in the dehydrator. If you do have a resin model, do not do that because you're going to distort it and it will start warping the body. So it's better to just do a dry sanding on those. And, well, excuse me, I want to talk about dry sanding. Pardon me. It's better to not put them in a dehydrator. I'm losing train of thought here. When you're letting them dry, just let them air dry for resin bodies. And again, it's just a real easy, nice, light sanding with 3000. Yeah, I think that's good. That paint's going to lie on nicely. And I don't think we'll have a problem with this. Again, you see how nice and easy I'm going. I'm not going real rough. Just very light-handed. And you could get those little crevices like that, but I don't think we'll need to. And hope I'm putting this in the frame of the camera because I'm not watching. And there you go. Just like that. That looks good. I'm good with this. So what I'll do is I'll put this back on the stand and rinse that off. Put this on the dehydrator, or in the dehydrator, and let this dry up and get it pretty much ready for paint. Hey there, here we go. So we have the model ready to go. We have the paint poured in, and this is the SMS paint, and all you have to do is pour it in. It's pre-mixed. It says to run as far as PSI, and let me see if we can read this real well, between 12 to 15. So I have it set to 15 PSI, which is, we're going to go with that. And this is a 0.5 needle and a Krios Pro Convoy. So here we go. We're going to put the first layer on. Here's our first coat. I'm just going to let it sit. My booth is very clean right now. Before I would, I didn't have this taped up. I think it looks pretty, you know, not the greatest, but there was a lot of stuff that was built up on here that had done with spray can and stuff. So now I just kind of taped it up, put another filter. And there's the first coat right there. It looks like we're layering on real good. I'm almost out of this paint because this is the last of it. I did jet black because I used a lot on the other model for the color shift, the Mustang model, the 132nd body. So I'm going to let it sit for about 5 minutes. Let that first tack coat kind of get on there. And with this model, you can go ahead and put it in a dehydrator and put it over there and let the, dehydrator do a little bit of work on it if you want. But that's fine, or let it air dry. But give it like about 5-10 minutes. I'm going to go with 10 minutes so that way the first tack coat is on there. And then I'll start really putting it on more on the second coat. All right, here we go. It's been about 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and give it a lot bigger coats here, or a lot thicker coat. I'm going to go slower as it crosses the body. I hope it have enough paint, so here we go. And that's it. I just ran out of paint. So I had to go and order some more paint, which is not a big deal. You could always go over this. You see I ran out right about there on the back. So, but no big deal. I'll get some paint and we'll go ahead and reshoot this again. We'll let it sit. It is what it is. And once I get the paint, I will definitely shoot some more on there. Okay, one important thing you want to remember after you're done painting is to, when you're using an airbrush, is back flush in here. So I use, in this case, lacquer thinner, and I back flushed this, poured it in here, and then I just put my finger on the end, obviously when this is on there, and then it pushes the pressure and cleans the inside after I sprayed it into my pot for probably about 20 seconds, kind of clear the rest of whatever's in here. And then I back flush it, and then I clean the cup out and pour a little bit more, and then back flush it again, then spray it, and then I'll do a final cleaning by adding more in there and make sure it comes out clear against the, some light, say, well, white color background. In this case, it was a piece of styrofoam and everything looked good. And when you're done, you bring it in here and you take the needle out. You have to clean the needle, so it's important you put your, the cleaning lacquer thinner you're going to put on here on the towel and just clean the needle. Be very careful not to, bend this, because if you do, then you've destroyed the needle and you'll need to buy another one. This is an Iwata gun. I decided to use this by happy accident instead of the Procon one. The Procon one's giving me a little bit of trouble, but you do a few things to it to fix it. But the Iwata is really an excellent gun. Everything atomizes so beautifully in this. And this is great right here to have this. This controls, from what I understand, how much flow of paint comes out of your needle. So that's what this is. And this is a brilliantly beautiful gun. It's worth the money. I mean, if you're going to get into painting more and more, I highly recommend it. You can see also I cleaned this as well, the nozzles, and there's two little holes there as well, and you want to make sure those are cleared out and cleaned out good. And of course the main hole where the needle pokes through. And when I'm done, make sure everything looks clean, put it on, reassemble the air gun and or the airbrush, excuse me, not air gun. This is not a an air gun. So, and just put the needle back in. Oh, one thing I almost forgot to do. This is a tip that Shotgun Dave has taught me when we were at Home Racing World. He says just always put a tab of oil on here, on your needle. This is the Iwata oil that comes with it, but any oil will work. And just lubricate the needle all the way through. And so you have a small coating of oil on it, and it doesn't hurt. And it's a good thing, keep it from sticking if there's any excess stuff on there, which there isn't. But it's nice to have it. Don't worry about this. This will blow out when you put your paint. This is what I did with as you saw me paint. I had a little coating of oil on it, and it just, didn't have no issues. I always make sure this is clean as well. You want to keep all the stuff really clean as much as you can, because once you have dried up stuff and it gets stuck in the gun, you really are going to have a hell of a time figuring out why is it not atomizing, which has happened to me on that, before with water-based paint. I didn't do something right and I didn't filter it right, and the water-based paint has, on the metallics, have small particles, so you want to always filter it. But with the SMS paint, you don't have to worry about that. It's already pre-mixed and you don't need to filter it. They use a real superfine pigment for the metallics too, from what I understand, because I did shoot the color shift one through this gun, and I, didn't, it came out fantastic. I do love this Iwata. I think I'm going to purchase another one just to have an extra one, and then the Pro Comboy, just use it as a backup. Nothing against a Pro Comboy, but boy, when you really up your game on a brush, this is a spectacular brush. They're a lot of money, but as I always say, you get what you pay for. And again, it's just nice to have something that you could rely on, that really nice, puts a nice atomization over your models. You saw how I was spraying it, how I just covered it. Of course, I ran out of damn paint, so it's going to be another few weeks before I can get the SMS paint. Never fear though, because there is something going on with SMS that they're trying to see if they could work something out with, having a U.S. supplier here in the States. They do have a U.S. supplier, but I believe it's in Guam, and Guam is a part of the United States, but it's an island and it's way the hell over there. We're on the more inland, the mainland and stuff. So hopefully they will find somebody that we can able to get these paints from a little bit easier. But I mean, waiting the 2 weeks, it's worth it. It's great paint, and I like how it shoots. And again, this is just going over the gun real quick. And that's it for this video. Until I get more paint, I'll finish shooting that, and then we'll put it clear over it. Well, actually, we'll color sand it very lightly again with 3000. We may not have to, because it looks pretty good. And matter of fact, let me bring the model out here to the counter, and we'll check it out. Okay, here's the model. It came out of the dehydrator, and real nice work here. So I came up a little bit short on paint for mainly the back deck lid here. As you can see right there, it's a little bit, faded out. If I had just like maybe 1 milliliter more or something, it would have worked out better. But I want to put another coat on this, but I could still color sand this after this is cured and then shoot another coat on it. But it really covers well, this paint. You can see the model looks good. That's jet black. And so imagine this. When you put the clear over this is going to be like an 8-ball, especially with the 2K clear. They also make the super clear as well, which is a 1-part, which just works as good if you don't want to deal with the 2K stuff. It's, that's a good idea. And I will do just a regular super clear one part on another model that I'll do that on. But for this one, I'm just doing the 2-part clear because I want to. Because again, man, if we just came up short with just a little bit here, I could probably get away with that. But nah, I don't want to do that. I'll put probably another coat on it. I could still color sand it after it's cured, and then recoat it again when I have enough paint. But I mean, look at the finish on that. That looks really good. And this is just a Rust-Oleum primer with 3000 grit sanding. Don't sand the body itself. You want to just wash it. Okay, just wash the body first, right? Soap and water. Let it dry. Spray your primer. Let it cure 24 hours. Then sand it 3000 grit. Let it dry. And then shoot your base coat just like this. And then let this dry. And then when it's cured for 24 hours, I'll color sand this. And then I'll shoot another coat of base. And I'll color sand it again, and then I'll shoot my 2K clear. It's going to come out really nice. You're going to really like this when it's done. And of course, this is the Dale Earnhardt #3 car, and we have the decals on the way from Mike's Decals. So, and we'll go over decaling too, as well as I continue this little journey on this car here. So that's it from Area 51 Raceway. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you could, like and subscribe. And I don't usually say that, but I'm going to say it this time. So as always, you take care and have fun racing.